going to look at our level 2 drawing now. It's going to get a little more complicated from here. And this is the drawing that we're going to be doing. Very happy, very positive, very optimistic looking. It's in the style of an artist called Romero Britto, Brazilian artist, known for his works of being happy, optimistic, and upbeat. We're going to take a little tour of some of his artworks in a second, but a little more on this one. A lot of kind of cartoony elements to it. Just like the level 1 project, there's a lot of pattern and repetition going on here, and the black bold lines. So you're going to create this sunset landscape scene in the style of Romero Britto, employing the use of shapes and line and color. It's very pop art looking. Very pop art looking. Here, do something. Hold that. Thanks, Bob. Alright, so let's take a look at some of Romero's work really quick before we start on this. Okay, so for the first work, we're going to look at the artwork called Lovely. And it was made in 2016. So now you know that Romero Britto, he's a great artist who's still alive. He's in his 50s right now. He went through the Cubist era and the pop art era, and he came out with these cool shapes, vibrant colors, which reminds me a lot of Keith Haring, which I've done some lessons on in the past. This one has a sunset going on with the rays coming out, and you have this giant heart in the sky. The other hearts look like they're flying around, but again, patterns, repetitions, bold colors, black outlines. Has a cartoony effect, but it looks really, really happy and bright. Now that you've seen some of Romero's work, you can get a better understanding of the artwork that we're going to do. All right, so you can use any type of tools that you want, as long as you have that black color and a lot of really colorful, bold colors. So you can use crayons, and you can use colored pencils, and you could use markers, right? Or you can use a combination of all three if you like. But you're going to need those black markers. They really work well, so especially a Sharpie marker so they don't bleed. So with this piece of art, what I'd like to start out with is a hill over on this side right here. So I don't want to start in the middle. That make the hill too big. I want this to be closest, but I kind of want it off to the side. So I'm going to start somewhere around here. What I really want is half of a half, which is right here. Okay, so I'm dividing it up into 4 sections. So here's the half of the paper, and I want to start right here, the half of this side. And I'm going to start there, and I'm going to curve that up towards the middle here on this side. So I'm going to start there. That's a hill. Doesn't look quite hillish yet, but you'll start to see it in a moment, all right? So there's my hill right there. And the next thing I can do is start on the tree. I could put a tree up on this hill right here. And I'm going to keep it like one of my V trees. What you don't want to do, and I'm going to take out a pencil for this, and hopefully I have my eraser somewhere. Oh good, I got my kneaded eraser. I'll keep this nearby. You can use a regular eraser. I just like the kneaded erasers. And what you don't want to do is make the tree with the hill. What I mean is this. You put the tree on and a tree sticks out that way. You don't want your tree on a diagonal. You want your tree to go straight up and down like this. So you're fighting against this hill right here. You're fighting against it, which means that when you make the tree, one side of the tree is going to be longer than the other side of the tree because it's on a hill, right? So I'm going to use the Sharpie marker now. I'll start on this side. There's one. Now I'm going to do the other side. And I'm starting up the hill more. I'm going to go straight up. That's my tree. See how uneven that looks right there? That's what you want. This side is much longer than that side because it's on the hill. So what I like to do next is to put a V inside that tree, which gives me 2 separate branches. Once that's done, nice happy bushy tree right there. Voila, you could do the inside too if you want, right? You can also put something in here too. I mean, you can even like kind of stretch the tree out. You can have it break off into a different direction if you wanted to, make it look more complex. So it's like I'm putting 2 extra V's in there with more branches. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 branches coming off of my 2. So I made 1 V here for the first one. I made 2 more V's on top to make smaller branches. And you can also do that too to make it look like it's in the tree, like an overlap with the leaves. That's fine. You don't have to, but you can. And once that's done, and usually with these things, I tell you to make the horizon line first. I didn't tell you that. You just went with a hill first. So now we're going to do the horizon line. And the horizon line is not going to be in the center here. It's going to be low. We're going to make a low horizon line. I want the majority of the picture to be sky. I want this part to be the bottom area. Could be water, could be land, right? I think what we should do is probably make it water. Let's have like a seascape sort of a thing going on here. So for water, I can create like a guideline for where my water is going to be, and then above that I could start. And it's a happy picture. We don't have to go full realistic. All right, we're gonna make it more abstract, meaning it doesn't look like real life. It has real life elements, but it's abstracted. It's not looking like real waves. This doesn't look like a real hill. This will not look like real waves, but it will look wavy. It's just a happy repetition right there of waves. Larger is better too. And we're going to make a big sun. It's not a full sun. It's part of it, maybe not even half. So I'm going to start here. There is my sunset. It's not even a half circle, but it's huge, right? Think of a gigantic turtle shell bulging right there, or some crazy monster like a sea monster, and this is the back of the sea monster, and there's its neck and its head, right? So big turtle back right there. Once you have your turtle back, then you're going to start working on your sunbeams. Now the sunbeams again are going to be abstract. I like to start in the middle and make one straight line going up. Say this is like a clock. This is 12 o'clock, right? We don't have 3 o'clock because we don't have a full circle, all right? Maybe we got 1 o'clock and maybe 2 o'clock here, but I want more than just those. These sunbeams are going to come straight out of the sun, and they're going to curve like this. So I'm going to make one right here. I'm going to space it out. Maybe there's going to be one here, and that kind of is on an angle. And then there's more of a curve here. So this one's going to go out this way. And this one's more on a curve, so this one's going to go out that way. Look what I did right there. Right? I'm keeping it in front. And on this side, same deal. I'll just kind of copy it. That way. That way. That way. There we go. Now, because this is a happy picture and it's going to be abstract, I can actually choose to draw through the tree if I want to, just to make it look visually interesting. You know what? I'll just do it right now. Instead of going behind the tree, I'm going to go through the tree. I could do the same thing here. I could draw through the tree here also, and we'll talk about why that is a little later. So there's my sunbeam lines, and all that's left to do at this point is to create all the patterns and shadings. You could keep this all water if you want to. That'd be really cool. You can go all water, or you could separate it and make land and water. So just for the sake of having both elements, I will put an extra line running through here. And again, if I wanted to, I could continue that line right through my hill. Right? I'm not going to do it. I want to go crazy complex on you right here. All right, so there we go. You know, we could really take it into another place. If you really want to extend this, you don't have to do this. But if you really want to extend it, we could go with one large cloud in the sky, overlapping two lines right there. Just to throw a wrench in it, just something different. And we'll get to what these mean in a moment. We're going to keep it simple at first. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start creating patterns inside of this. We want it to look happy. Happy and hopeful, something that someone would really, really enjoy looking at. And I want to use shapes, repetition, and patterns inside of here. But simple ones. I don't want to work it too complex. One of the more famous patterns you can do would be hearts. Okay, so I'm going to put a series of hearts in here, and I'm also going to fill them in. Here's a heart here, and because my beam is getting bigger, I'm going to make the heart get bigger. Now watch what happens right here. Make this side, make this side, like that, and then go here. Now, I'm going to come back to this in a little while. I want to get these major sections down first. Okay, so there's my hearts. I'm going to fill them in now. Actually, I'll put like a tiny piece of one here. And these are very large shapes. I want them to be large. And of course, like I'm sure some people are already asking in the back of their head, well, can I use pencil at first? Absolutely. That would limit any kind of errors or mistakes in there. I want it bright. I want to keep it bright. So I'm going to get yellow, nice bright color. And I'm going to start filling in this entire area. And I know it's going to happen because I'm using Crayola colors. They're wet and they get re-wet. So the minute I start getting close to the hearts, it's probably going to bleed a little bit, meaning that the colors are going to mix. And you're going to see like a little weird orangey, yep, right there, a little orangey pinkish color going on. So I'm going to get the big spots around it first and then kind of work my way in, and that will limit the amount of pink and stuff that might come up off of the red. So there's my first one there, almost done, and there we go. So that's my first beam right there. I'm going to make various sized circles. Big ones, small ones, relatively large though. I do want them mostly big. I'll put a little bit of variety in there. And look how quickly I got done with this section right there. That's really fast. Got done with it really quick. I'll fill those in. Super happy bright. And I already know what color I'm going to fill in the area that's behind it. I'm going to go with the orange. Definitely go with the orange. Now, if I did use a pencil and I made these circles with the pencil, I would color orange in first and then color the circles in purple after, because purple's darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep doing these sunbeams. When I'm done, I'm going to come back and we're going to work on the other elements in here. I'm also going to decide on the color of my sun, and we'll come back and then we'll work on these other elements. Okay, so I have all my sunbeams down. I picked orange for the sun, turquoise for the water. The turquoise came out a little dark, but I think I like the contrast between the orange and the turquoise. Orange and blue are opposite colors on the color wheel. They're complementary, so they like to bounce off each other. Purple and yellow like to bounce. So some of these things are kind of glowing off the paper, but I tried to keep it as bright as possible. All right, I did do a dark purple here to contrast the blue and the purple there, or to balance it out. So now I'm going to work on the tree and the cloud right here, because I said like I divided them up. So I'm going to do something a little more creative with this. I'm going to take a pencil now, And this circle right here, I'm going to continue it. And then I'm going to think, well, if I kept making circles in here, I probably have a nice big circle right here like that. This diamond shape would probably be over here. There's part of a diamond here, so I'm going to bring that across and put another, because I probably have more diamonds in here. I'm going to put a diamond here and maybe part of a diamond over there. Also, I can also do this inside the tree and the trunk right there. And I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, and I also have this dividing line here, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave this open. Over here, I have part of the heart, and then I have these wavy lines I was doing. So I'm going to continue these like this. Probably put one more in there just for fun. And that does it. There's nothing in here, so that stays blank. I'm good. I'm ready to go. So the top of my tree is going to be green. Different types of green. So I have three different types of green. I do have the teal, but I find that's too dark. So I'm going to go with these three colors here. So the first thing I'm going to do is, instead of purple in here, I think I can use I could use a different color purple inside the tree. I could do that way. But I think I'm going to keep it green. And this is my darkest green. So I'm going to continue the circle inside the tree, going from purple to green like that. I'm going to do the same thing here. Make that a nice dark green. Just like that. So now the background, I'm going to go with this now, you know what? I'm going to go with this seafoam green, just to be different, because this pink is brighter in color than that orange to me. So this part of the tree is going to get this seafoam green here. All the way up and around. Now we got to work on this side. This is the next side we got to work on. So I know right off the bat that the majority of my tree could be this bright green. I'm going to take brown too while I'm at it. This is a darker color, but if I had a lighter brown, like a tan, I would totally use that on this tree. I went around that diamond shape. And there's my branch. And now I have to make a decision, and hopefully you could see what I'm doing here. Ooh, I thought I was supposed to color that. I don't have another brown, so I'm gonna use gray. Just to say that that diamond's right there. So for here, if I go to use this color, this green, it is going to make it look like one big shape. And I think I'm gonna do that because I don't have a fourth green. I don't have another green I can use. I do have the teal. It is next to the green family. I think I'm gonna go with it. Could go either way, but I think I'm gonna go with the other color. That way these two don't look the same. And the other reason why I'm using this is so that I can definitely cover my mistake I made right there. Because I colored into my diamond shape a little bit. Yeah, I'm satisfied with this. I think this went well. It's my sister again. My goodness. Well, must be something's up. Something's going on. Okay, so that finishes off the tree. So it is a green tree, but I'm messing with it because I did put that black line there, and I don't want the whole tree to be the same green. I'm kind of separating things. Same thing with this diamond here. I'm making it look different. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I used this green for this. So I'm going to switch it into a seafoam green. And I don't want to use this pink. I do have two different types of pink. I have hot pink, which I used. So I'm going to use regular pink for the area inside the cloud. So it's like I'm following the color, but I'm changing it. You could say I'm changing the value of the color or the tone of the color. And I'm going to purposely outline the section between the green and the pink because I know I'm not going to be able to avoid it. So I might as well go with it. There we go. That's that one section. Now I have yellow here. I don't have another type of yellow, so I'm just going to go with orange because it's the closest I can get. So every time I made that line go straight through, well, I put the cloud through the lines. So I'm going to make it look a little different. You'll still be able to see the cloud, but it's going to look a little bit different against all those patterns. Okay, so I have red here. I'm going to use this purpley primrose color as my substitute red color. So it looks the same, but not quite. And again, I'm going to switch the yellow for the orange for in here. And that finishes that section. So the cloud's there, but it's dancing in the colors. There's like a crazy color dance going on in here and in here. Okay, so the only spots we have left is the hill and down in here. To keep it bright, I'm gonna go straight up with the yellow. So there you go. Happiness. Happy sunset. It's bright, it's cheery. See if you can make it a little more basic than what I did, especially here. Keep it as simple as possible. Keep the colors bright. You could sneak in that darker blue or turquoise in with the water. Once in a while, I could sneak in a dark color here and there. But for the majority of the picture, go with the bright colors. All right, kids, I hope you had a good time. Really happy project. So far, levels 1 and 2, very bright, very vibrant. Patterns, repetition, bold black lines. It's going to get a little different, you know, from here on in. So if you make these, please send them to me. You could submit them in the Google Classroom. You could put it on the slide. You can email it to me. I could put it up on Twitter. Do have an Instagram now. And I put it up on the teacher page gallery that's there. And there is a lot of artwork on that gallery by now. I mean, there's a ton of it. It looks wonderful too. I really like it. So yeah, I hope you had fun with this. Hope you had fun too. Did you enjoy yourself? Yeah? Oh, good. What? No. Dinner? You don't even have an esophagus. You have no stomach. What are you talking about?